Ghana and Congo kicking off here inside the Friendship Stadium in just a couple of minutes. Ghana, who qualified in first position from Group D, with the players for the big occasion going into this match certainly as favourites. And if you were with us earlier on tonight, you would have seen Ivory Coast book their place in the semi-finals. Well, runners-up in their group were Congo. They really are the outsiders here, but they had 2 draws from their 2 group matches. Ivory Coast and Algeria, they're good results, in fact, for the Congo. So Ghana, one of 2 nations yet to concede a goal here at the 18th African Nations Cup, winning both their matches by an identical scoreline, a 0-0 against Zambia and Egypt. The 2 sides are out on the pitch. As you can see, we're going through the opening ceremony routines as we bring you once again our map of Africa. I'm sure you're familiar with that by now. The first time these major championships have come to Senegal, and what a good job they are doing of hosting the 18th African Nations Cup. Exclusive for you once again from the Senegalese capital of Dakar, with the national anthems now completed, and we're all set for the second of today's 2 live matches. 3 semi-finalists we already know. The Ivory Coast earlier on this afternoon beating Zambia with a goal in extra time to book their place in the semi-finals. They will now meet Cameroon. Nigeria are already there. Will they be playing Ghana, or will they be playing the Congo on Thursday in the second semi-final? Let's join your match commentators now, Martin O'Neill, and first, with all the team news, it's Gary Bloom.
Thank you very much, Phil. As we check now on the Congo team, they're forced into a couple of changes. Congo in green for this match, Ghana in the white jerseys. Check now on the Ghana lineup, and 2 suspensions for Ghana means they have to reorganise the right-hand side of their team. Arma and Ankara both left out because of picking up 2 bookings, and Apoko, number 15, and 19, Emmanuel Ampia, come in to the side. It's going to be a similar story for Congo, but their changes are enforced. Ironically, again on the right-hand side of their team, Buketo and Francois Makita, who for my money has had a good competition so far, both missing from this Congo side. Mukasa, number 12, and Ntunu, who started Congo's opening match against the Ivory Coast when he played it right back, and will do so again despite wearing the number 9 jersey, come into the starting 11. Ghana bidding for their first semi-final since '82 when they won the competition. They've won it more times than any other country. The 5th African Nations Cup title is well overdue. It's 10 years since Ghana last won this competition, but now they're many people's favourites to reach the final here in Senegal. They have so many talented players who are plying their trade in Europe. No fewer than 5 from the Ghana side. That the head-to-head meeting in the African Nations Cup. Ghana comprehensively on top, and are expected to go through from this quarter-final. 2 of the 3 teams from Ghana will be playing in the semi-final. Ghana, Congo and Nigeria. 3 semi-finalists, 2 live matches. 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 3 semi-finalists, 2 live mat and meet Nigeria in the last 4 of the competition. Martin O'Neill sits alongside me in the commentary position. Do you fancy Ghana to go through?
I would say that it probably would have to. It's my first real look at both sides, and I fancy that Ghana might just be too strong up front. We reckon that both of us think that certainly Congo will flood the midfield. They've been virtually playing a lone striker in most of the games, and we feel that perhaps that their best policy, I think, will be trying to stifle Ghana from being able to do things. But all in all, Gary, I would say that Ghana should win the match.
Just confirmation, it is Ntonu, number 9, who's playing it right back for Congo, coming into the side through Buketo, and it's the Congo in possession. One back though by Ghana. Neat little bit of skill there. And number 15, Apoku, coming into the team. He seems to be playing on the right-hand side of midfield. Just wonder why, why Ghana made the 2 changes. I just wonder why Congo decided to do that, unless they're being forced to do so because of injury, Martin.
I would say that would be the initial thought of both of us, that injury, and I assume their results have been fine. They've got a little bit of confidence from the 2 matches themselves, and I would have said that injury is probably the main thought behind that.
Italian team manager Arrigo Sacchi, an interested spectator in the Friendship Stadium in Dakar, watching this match. Remember, Ghana, one of only 2 teams left in this competition yet to concede a goal. Ivory Coast, the other one, and they're already through to the last 4 of the competition. It says a good deal about the Ghanaian defence, and they have 2 real strapping players playing at the heart of their back 4, Mansto and Bafo. We'll see more of those later, because Ghana are on the attack here. 0-0, 2 minutes gone of this quarter-final. Congo in the green. Bafo, number 2, is forward from the back. A bit too much in swing on the ball, and there'll be a goal kick to the Congo.
Yeah, a wee bit too much in swing, but I think it's a good idea. I think that the important thing early on for Ghana is just to test the goalkeeper out, see how he's feeling about things, and noticed in the previous couple of games that goalkeepers here, when put under ferocious pressure, are like everybody else. They're vulnerable.
Is Ibrahim operating on the left-hand side of midfield, clips it in, looking for number 15 Apoku, taking up a good position Apoku. Normally the sort of area that you would imagine Pele or Yeboah to move into. 6 is well-matched. Mukasa to the fullback, Ntonu, trying to tuck the shirt off the back of Ali Ibrahim, and Ghana win it back. Congo have a reputation of being a tough nut to crack. They've won just 2 of their last 6 internationals. They don't very often win games. They don't concede a lot of goals either. Pele. Apia. Ibrahim, all coming down the left-hand side of the Ghanaian defence. Lovely little dummy there by Lanti, just a wrong foot the Congo midfield and defence. Sort of things become his stock in trade over the last couple of years. An outstanding prospect in the game. Valued now £10 million by Anderlecht, the Belgian club. Nasomi. Legapi will be the target here, but it'll come through to Apia. Remember, Ghana playing in their change strip of all white in this game. Very late challenge, I think, on Pele by Sumu, who really is a giant of a man. A man mountain, I think you'd call him. He can reach the opposition's penalty area with his dead ball kicks, and I suspect that's his 2nd booking of the tournament. So would Congo qualify for the last four, he certainly would be out. I think that was more mistimed than malicious.
Well, I think Sumu has decided that Pele has got to know that they're around. It's as simple as that. I think that he decided that he would make the challenge. I also think the referee is absolutely right in booking him, despite the fact that I might just disagree with you on that one, Gary, for the reason being that I think he's got to take an early hold of the game. He's given the yellow card. I think that perhaps there was a chance there for Pele to make ground down the touchline, and Sumu, quite rightly, has gone into the boot. I think that might settle things down anyway, and Ghana will feel as favourites that the referee is going to stand in no ceremony.
Pele's okay, and he takes this free kick, cleared by the Congo defence. There was a push there and a Ghanaian player before challenged by Ntonu. 17 is Abora for Ghana. They'll look for Nagapi here. Nagapi rose for the ball and then tried to push it over the line. The goalkeeper got himself in a real mess, and Nagapi caused all sorts of problems there for the Ghanaian defence. Apia seems to have taken a knock on both his head and his left shin, and this is where the problem started, with Nagapi climbing with the Ghanaian goalkeeper answer for the ball.
It's a good challenge. The referee didn't see anything wrong with that particular one. He decided that 4 or 5 players going up together, Gary, with it, that he's got to give it a free kick defensively. But there was the first opportunity for Congo. We felt that the one thing that we talked about before the game started, that if Congo were to have a chance, they would certainly have to go and give, from midfield, give a little bit more support, early support to Nagapi, and that's exactly what they did. And they had a possibility there. I feel that Ghana could have found themselves a goal behind.
Yeboah using his strength to good effect, just to brush Muyabi off the ball, looking for Pele in the middle, didn't quite come down. This is Lapti showing all his skills. Ibrahim has lost it in midfield. Congo can counter-attack now. Again, Nagapi streaks away and goes into that inside left position. Rather disappointing cross in the end, but it's back to Nagapi again. He started this game brightly for Congo. Ntonu getting it back inside. Tessa feeding the ball to the left-hand side, looking for Chibota over there, but he was offside. That's very promising for the Congo.
It is, and I'm not sure that just at this particular stage whether he's offside or not. I feel the Ghanaian defenders kept him onside.
Apia certainly was late in coming out, and that was really one of the ploys of Ghana in their last match on Friday against Egypt, especially on free kicks in and around their penalty area. They're happy to walk out the opposition and catch him in an offside position. This one played over the head of Yeboah, who had half a chance there.
Oh well.
Ghanaian player was leaning back into his shot as he hit it. It was Abide Pele, the captain of the team. Remains after 8 minutes play. Congo 0, Ghana 0 in this African Nations Cup quarter-final.
The goal kick gives us a chance, guy, to draw a breath here. It's been a very entertaining first 8 or 9 minutes. And the one thing that I felt that Ghana would do, I thought that they would attempt to play the game in the Congo half, simply because as favourites, they're also under a little bit of pressure as well. The one thing they don't want is to give Congo any sort of impetus, any sort of heart to go on. And funnily enough, they've done exactly the opposite. They've sat back a little bit. They've allowed Congo to get at them. They've allowed a little bit support as well to Nagapi up front, and they could have found themselves a goal behind. I think just a little bit weak finishing in there before the referee came to the rescue.
This is Apia for Ghana, the left back who's ventured forward here. 11 is Ibrahim, another one of the European-based players. Good cut back there, looking for Yeboah, who really is chasing for that ball. It's Pele, in fact, who's brushed off it by Muyabi, the central defender. This is turning into a very, very good game of football. Some of the matches that we've seen from the African Nations Cup have been a little bit sterile. Confirmation, by the way, that Sumu there, number 14, will be suspended for the next match for Congo, be it a third and fourth place playoff or a semi-final meeting with Nigeria. Muyabi. A real electrical current in the air between these two sides. I'm not sure this match is properly earthed. Ampia, man who's come into the side at right back for Ghana. Maybe Ghana a little bit worried about that right-hand side of the defence. Without Armah, without Ankara, both suspended for this quarter-final. Maybe it's something Congo feel they can exploit down that left-hand side. Certainly, Nick Gappy has already wandered into that area of the field. To his Beffa, the central defender. Apia. Lapti was caught very late. Muyabi gets it back to his goalkeeper, Brice Samba, yet to concede a goal in the competition, just 20 years old. Big tournament for him, but his nerve has stood the test. I think we're going to see a good deal of this linesman on the near side, because that Ghanaian defence really adept at pushing out. I'm sure that linesman is going to have a stiff arm by the end of the game. Manso makes himself available. This is a left back. Apia. Nilapti. Anderlecht. Superstar. I think it's fair to call him that. Ibrahim. They're calling him the new Maradona, Nilapti. That's quite a tag for any youngster to have round his neck.
You mentioned a couple of moments ago, Gary, about the strong tackling defenders of Congo, namely Sumo and Muyabi. I think that they've decided that the best way to do this is dish out a little bit of the physical stuff to Pele, not allow them to turn, certainly in goal-scoring positions, and to try, and if Pele is going to cause any damage, at least he's going to cause it further out the field than they would want.
Only had one or two problems with your picture quality. We apologise for that. I hope you're enjoying the quality of the football, though. It's been 13 breathless minutes of this African Nations Cup quarter-final. Congo in the green 0, Ghana 0. Ghana pressing forward. Yeboah. Plenty of men forward here for the Congo. I think there's been a slight change of tactics here, Martin, because in the two previous matches, Ghana used number 9 Yeboah as the old-fashioned English centre-forward sort of battering ram, and he's playing a little bit deeper. There he is with the ball now, and leaving that role to Apoko, who wears number 15.
I think perhaps, Gary, for the very reason that we mentioned, realising that they're going to find it very, very difficult in there. There's, as we mentioned earlier, there's a no-nonsense approach about the Congo defence, and I think he's deciding that maybe for his own benefit, early on anyway, that he'll stay out of the firing line.
I'll tell you what, I wouldn't like to get tangled up with Sumu or Muyabi. Minga, the coach of Congo, who won this competition back in 1972 as a player, knows all about the success then.
I'm not surprised there are a lot of happy faces on the bench. They'll be pretty pleased with the way they've approached this game and the way they've started as well.
Let's underline the fact they're very much underdogs in this match. Ghana are favourites to win and go through to the semi-final. Yeboah. It doesn't matter where the ball is, he'll still get clattered. This time by a Womat, the midfield player of the Congo. Congo unbeaten in the qualifiers. Yeboah flicks that one on. They're going to prove to be a difficult nut to crack. Whether Ghana have the mental tenacity just to do that remains to be seen. They have certainly limited resources, the Congo. They have a population of just 2 million. In contrast, Ghana, 14 million population. Football is more of a religion in the country. Get live English football every week, and apparently they know John Barnes better than they do the likes of Poco and Bafo. They love the English game. And here now is Ibrahim. Went a little bit too long to deliver his cross inside that Congo penalty area before he's bundled over by Natonu. There's Natonu's tackle.
Absolutely needless challenge there. He was almost going for the ball, and there was nothing on there at all for Ghana. He's just giving a careless free kick away in a very, very dangerous position to us.
I'm sure you'd have told me your defenders just to jockey the attack, wouldn't you?
Well, he's done the best thing. He's robbed the opposing forward in the first place, and then suddenly he's allowed a foul.
Pele with a free kick. No real meat behind that header, I suspect, by Yeboah. So won back cleverly here by Abora. Long-range efforts, which came off Tsumu. The ball had gone dead. It would give most men a headache, but not Tsumu. That ball had gone dead. It's going to be a corner on the far side to Ghana.
Very briefly, the Congo defence will be very disappointed with Samba's efforts there. He's grabbed the ball, they're all in defensive positions, and he's thrown out to the one man up front, and that's the last thing he wants to do is have that ball.
Pele, back to Lapti again, who drives it in low, away by a Womat. 11 here is Chibota. Good solid challenge there by Bafu, had taken up a position midway inside the Congo half.
I was just finishing on the point, Guy, that even if he had picked the ball up, there was no support for him at all, because all the Congo players were in their own penalty box. Suddenly he's given it away, and they're under pressure again.
This is the full-back, Natonu. You can see again the really heavy challenge here on the number 10, Ndomba. So once again a high ball placed up towards the head of Yeboah. They haven't really got Yeboah in the game as far as I'm concerned. This time the foul is on the Ghanaian. This is Manso, who started Ghana's first game against Zambia but missed the Egyptian game. Bit of tit for tat there, wasn't it?
Yeah, I wasn't too sure about that one. Not at all sure. I think Congo, in effect, have tried the right thing. I just don't mean those sort of ferocious challenges that are going in. But I think tactically they've tried to do the right thing. They swamped the middle of the field, that when Ghana get the ball in their own half, Congo are content to retreat. Now that's fine, you're in a decent position then if you retreat. They're also trying to hold the edge of the penalty box and not let the little 1-2s go past. I think if Ghana can infiltrate into an area where they can get past 3 or 4 midfield players, suddenly they're coming onto a back four. This Congo back four are prepared to hold their ground a little bit and might be susceptible to the little 1-2. But so far Ghana have been unable to get any sort of pattern of play developed.
And we haven't seen Pele in the game yet. We haven't seen Lapti. I mean, those are the sort of players that you would expect to play those clever little 1-2s around the edge of the penalty area.
Absolutely right, Gary. Well, Pele felt that the challenge early on from what Tsumu was booked from, it's just it's just an early lesson for him. He realises he's not going to get into this game easily. He's a wonderful, wonderful footballer. He's got tons of ability. But I'll tell you what, he'll just have another look again as these players are coming in to make the challenge or two. As I say, Congo, for being outsiders, have started very, very well. Okay, they've given away a couple of needless free kicks, but so far they've put Ghana under enough pressure to realise they're in for a bit of a game here.
Certainly been bright, hasn't it?
I've enjoyed it.
Apia. Good flick on, suspicion of handball there. Lamptey, who had to stretch a long way for that one. And eventually ran into the challenge of Ndomba. Brisamba. Gets it out to his giant central defender. Sumu. Usumi. A bit of confidence now being instilled in this Congo team. Prepared to knock the ball around. This is Muyabi. That was Baloki scrapping for the ball. Manso seems to recover from his injury. Ibrahim getting it wide. That is a fine ball. Looking for the fullback. Got away by Muyabi.
I think the pitch is a little bit to play as well too, Gary, and the final ball being not so clever. It was an excellent through ball in the first place, but as I said, the final ball not so clever. I think he got a little bit of a bobble beforehand.
So midway through the first half in this African Nations Cup quarter-final, coming to you live on Screen Sport. Congo 0, Ghana 0. Ghana in the white in possession. Ibrahim. Oof. Again, one of those towering clearances by Tsumu. Yeboah offside.
That's the type of thing I was talking about. Congo are prepared to hold their ground a little bit. Now that's fine if you're holding your ground if someone is going to pressurise the ball. But if you don't do, then there's a possibility these Ghanaians have got all the talent in the world and they're able to thread little through balls like that. And one of them is going to come off.
Congo won the African Nations Cup just once. That was 20 years ago. They went into that competition in 1972 as underdogs. One or two people feel that it's a good omen for this side. Ndomba won the ball, but unfairly before Nagapi had that shot on goal. In fact, Ndomba has won a free kick here. He was being fouled by Abora, according to the referee from Gambia. Indeed, Abora was just pushing Ndomba away as he tried to thread the ball forward. Edward answer has all the answers, doesn't he, for his defenders? 5 of them in that war. Sumu had the shot.
No wonder he was shouting, Gary, because we've got a perfect view from behind the goal. That suddenly, if you push the ball a little bit to the side, you've actually got a free shot and goal. The fact that the shot was quite rubbishy is totally immaterial.
Lamptey. Apia. Lamptey goes then into an inside left position before tracking back. Got great individual skills, these Ghanaian players. Sometimes lack the technical sophistication of teamwork and tactics. It's something that they've been working on. Ibrahim offside. It's one of the reasons why Otto Pfister was recruited to the job as their national coach. The feeling is that they love to run with the ball and not always aware of the possibilities of a long ball or even a short ball. As we look again at that marginal offside, Ibrahim just about caught in an offside position.
Just about, I suppose. I'm not so sure that he was that much offside.
Well, according to the linesman, he was.
Well, that's right.
And he was arguably in a better position than us. 0-0 then. 25 minutes gone with still no clues as to who's going through to the semi-finals to meet Nigeria. Remember the other semi-final lineup complete. It will be Cameroon against the Ivory Coast. Yeboah. Good deal of upper body strength just to show his defender off the ball here. Unfortunately, Coco just couldn't swivel round and turn and shoot all in one movement inside the 6-yard box.
That was interesting. We probably won't get the chance to see it again, but very briefly, Yeboah showed great strength, absolutely terrific strength, knocking his man off the ball, putting a very dangerous ball across the 6-yard box.
Sounds an obvious thing to say, but he looks a European player. He plays for Eintracht Frankfurt in the Bundesliga, and he has a European style to him, doesn't he?
Very much so, very much so. And Pele is not really dissimilar to him.
Pele again. Great skills to keep that ball in play. Tucked in towards Lapti. I suspect if it had gone over then he might have got a penalty.
Again, full marks to Congo. Great defending. Gone out to the first sign of danger. Little balls being played into the box. They're not allowing decent ball being played in there, Gary. And that's excellent defending. How long they can keep this up, heaven knows. But at the minute, while they're still full of it, while they're still level and they feel that they're well and truly in the game, they're going to put their heart and soul into this. And I feel that's exactly how they've approached the game.
So nearly half an hour gone of this one. As we await the first goal of the match. Ghana in white, Congo in possession. Ghana, by their own admission, have put most of their efforts in the past into the African Nations Cup rather than the World Cup, which they've seen predominantly as a European tournament. But now things are changing. Remember, 3 African teams will be competing in the World Cup finals of 1994 in America, and they really want to get back onto the world stage. I had the pleasure of being in Italy in the summer when their under-17 team won the JVC World Championship, beating Spain in a rather dull final in Florence in the end, but the youngsters' play leading up to that final was a real revelation, led superbly by Lapti, who was quite rightly nominated the player of the tournament and won the Adidas Golden Ball. This gave me an opportunity to have one or two discussions with Otto Pfister, who's now been promoted to the national team coach position. He was explaining that his job all the time is to try coach some of the natural skills out of the Ghanaian players. This is Lapti, he's got a good deal of natural skill, and the first goal of the game! Scored by Yeboah. Lapti with a spade work. Yeboah makes it 1-0.
Terrific play, absolutely brilliant play. That's the breakthrough they've been looking for. Lapti has done splendidly. He's gone straight at the heart of the Congo defence. He's just been pushed a little ball through. It's a wee bit lucky. He was going for the 1-2, but Yeboah decides, I'll finish this one off myself. Great left foot shot into the corner. He was just looking to play, lucky to get a wee break, but Yeboah's hammered a terrific shot, kept it low down and stuck it into the net. Excellent goal. And it's the sort of thing that Ghana, I can't say that they've really played for it, but have found themselves a goal in front, and that will take a lot of pressure off them now. I think just up until that, Gary, I think that they felt that they were content enough, sit back, get their own rhythm, find their own rhythm, feel that they've got enough players up front with the ability to break down defenders on their own, and suddenly Yeboah cracks the goal for them.
Lapti, unfortunately, seems to have injured himself in the build-up to that goal. Let's hope it's not too serious, because his skills there were right out of the very top drawer of great Ghanaian football. Easy to see why somebody would value him at £10 million when he does things like that. There was 3 or 4 Congo defenders snapping at his heels, and the clever thing is he just drew them all away from Yeboah, who was relatively unmarked in the end. It wasn't an easy chance that he put away, but only takes one chance like that to win cup time.
Disappointing for Congo. They've defended stoutly, admirably. They've done everything that they've possibly been asked for, and now suddenly they found themselves a goal behind, when in effect they've had plenty of possession themselves, Guy, to have warranted to have done a little bit better anyway. But that's the way the game goes. Now suddenly the favourites are in command. They've got a goal in front, and perhaps we might see a little bit more flowing play from them.
What would you do if you were their coach, Martin? How would you be saying to them?
I think the next 10 minutes of the game absolutely vital for Ghana. They've got the players. They know that they're capable of breaking down defences. The important thing is that they don't concede a goal. They've gone 25, 27, 30 minutes of attempting to get a goal. They haven't really put a great deal of pressure onto the Congo defence. Well, I think that the next 5, 6, 7 minutes they decide, listen, let's not give them a chance to equalise and get their tails up again.
Got away by the central defender, Bafo. Can't have so much better defending from a player, can you? And set up a counter-attack to Yeboah. Really is tough on the Congo team. And Joel Minga, no doubt already thinking as to what he'll say to his team at the half-time break. And I just wonder if Ghana can just relax and play some of their attractive football. We could be in for a real treat. Here's the goal again.
Yeah, terrific run. Absolutely brilliant, Banana. It's got through. Again, I felt that he was trying to play the little 1-2 with Yeboah. It didn't come across. Yeboah's decided he sees Nalapti has fallen down and he's had a crack himself. It's a terrific goal by any standards.
Oh, it might be presented back to the fullback here. Well, Apia must have been as surprised as anybody to see that ball coming back into his path after initially putting over such a good cross.
I see this happening week in, week out. But what happens is that you've defended very, very well, you've conceded the goal, and there's confusion reigning all over the place. And you can find yourself 2-0 behind before you regain composure again.
Lapti looking for Yeboah, who's taken up a more central attacking position now. Remember, that was Yeboah's second goal of the competition. Scored a last-minute winner against Egypt to take Ghana through to the quarter-finals. And now he's on target again. Ghana 1, Congo 0. Congo looking for an equaliser. This is Nagapi. A lot of hopes now on his shoulders. Tends to operate as a sole striker in that Congo team. Their domination of midfield and urgency of their play suggests it will be Ghana who might score again even before half-time here. Yeboah, that's great skill, that really is, and that's really fierce commitment by Yeboah. A little bit too fierce for the referee's liking. And a free kick to the Congo.
We were just talking there, Gary, about perhaps Ghana getting the second goal before half-time. That would most certainly kill the game off. Felt that just like the other evening I was watching Zaire in Nigeria, and possibilities of Zaire, who found themselves a goal behind, had plenty of the play, and thought that, well, if they go into half-time only a goal behind, perhaps they can get enough enthusiasm, enough impetus up to launch an attack in the second half, which is exactly what they did do.
Look at this challenge here between Awomat and Yeboah. I thought that was a 50-50 ball myself.
I agree. It wasn't a foot-up situation. He's gone for the ball, and it wasn't really a studs show.
I'm really impressed with Yeboah. You know, he's a great player. As the sun sets on Dakar, the lighthouse is beginning to dim on Congo's chances now. They find themselves a goal behind. This is Awomat who's in trouble. Picked up a knee injury following that really stern challenge with Yeboah. Yeboah not only has excelled in the African Nations Cup, he's also excelled in the UEFA Cup this season. He scored a couple of goals for Eintracht Frankfurt before his team were eventually knocked out by Ghent in that competition. But should Ghana win the African Nations Cup, I think a lot of people will be talking about Tony Yeboah. I'm sure one or two Italian agents will have their greedy eyes on him.
I've no doubt about that. And they're all very strong looking. Defenders very obviously are, but you mentioned Yeboah. Pelly's a strong lad as well too, really is. I've been very, very impressed with him. Even after initially getting dumped in his backside, I felt that what he has done, he's been able to come off defenders and be able to nip little balls, get control and play little balls through for on rushing forwards.
I don't know how Awomat is going to continue in this game. Looks like he may need a wheelchair if he wants to play on. More or less at the centre of your picture. But he stays on the field, and that one's placed far too close to goalkeeper Edward Ansah. And off they go again. Real determination about Ghana now. This is Nilampti. Gets away from Ndomba. 8 minutes to half-time. Ghana lead by a goal to nil.
It's absolutely crucial that Congo don't concede a goal. Give them a chance at half-time to regroup, reform and replan. But at the minute, if Ghana get a second goal, you could see this being an absolute nightmare for Congo.
Pele, lovely little cross. The goalkeeper did well to come out. Brisamba, the young Congo keeper. Nasomi, the left back.
He held it well, Gary, didn't he? Because remarkably, he hasn't had that much to do, other than the picking one out of the back of the net. He hasn't really had that many catches to make.
My fear, Martin, is that this very talented Ghanaian side will come out in the second half and say, right, we've had enough football now for 45 minutes. If you want this game, you can come and take it off us.
Wouldn't disagree with you.
I think that's going to be a goal kick, despite the fact that the Tonu wanted a corner.
So would that suggest that both of us will be cheering on for a Congo equaliser?
I think it made the game more interesting. I'm sure the second half will be packed full of incidents as Ghana press forward. And no doubt show just why they're ranked as favourites to reach the final. It really would be a mouth-watering prospect, a Cameroon-Ghana final, wouldn't it? 1-0 to Ghana. Oh, Yeboah almost through again. Now, Ghana could be stretched here. Ndomba's made a miraculous recovery from that knee injury. Now enmity in the tackle. Number 12, Gassa. Michael Kembo is going to come on here for the Congo. Kembo on, and a Womat is going to come off. 5 minutes to half-time. You're watching Screen Sports coverage of the African Nations Cup. This is the quarter-final tie between Ghana and Congo. That's the latest score.
It's almost as if Ghana or Congo have lost a little bit of heart with Ghana scoring the goal. I think that they felt the longer it was staying, while they were in parity, that there was a chance for them. They've just lost that momentum. They haven't been able to get hold of the ball. Ghana, obviously the better footballers, have been able to stroll around, hold on to the ball with very apparent ease.
And also one of their hard men in midfield, a Womat, is now missing. And if it is going to get physical, they need players like a Womat. He's now been substituted after that fearsome crunching tackle with Yeboah. Makembo comes into the heart of the midfield. We shall see how it affects the game. Ghana, of course, already got their eyes on qualifying for the 1994 World Cup in America. They're in the same qualifying group as Algeria, Uganda and Burundi. They would see that really as their next major objective. Present objective, though, to win the African Nations Cup in Senegal. Ibrahim. Boko. Ibrahim. Boko again, rather. Ibrahim. Got so many options here, Ghana. Interesting back pass. Gives the goalkeeper a chance to show off his high jumping skills. I can imagine you'd have been too pleased if one of your defenders had given your goalkeeper a back pass like that.
What would have pleased me more is the athleticism shown by the goalkeeper. I've got a pudgy little goalkeeper in goal. And anyone who can concede a goal against Colchester United when it's scored by the opposition goalkeeper, I've got to be a bad manager to keep him in the football team. He's not bad. I've got to say that he'll be listening tonight.
That's the sort of damage inflicted on the knee of a Womat by Yeboah. Already has a nice pack on it. Keep down the swelling. Letonu, the right back, bumps into the challenge. Wabora. He'll be sore in the morning, won't he? Oh.
I can't make that concoction out.
Moncasa with a free kick. Oh, a free header, both on the near post and the back post. And that was a real opportunity there. And it was a big central defender, Sumu, who'd come forward from the back.
That's a brilliant ball across the ball, outside of the foot from Moncasa. Terrific ball, and Sumu should have scored. Should have scored. and that's the type of ball that I think that's been on in this whole tournament. It's a playing with the outside of the foot, bending in towards the goalkeeper, so that someone, at least you're committing the goalkeeper if nothing else. He was rooted to his line. It's coming across at such pace that if you just direct it on target, it's bound to go into the net. And I think Sumo will be very, very disappointed with that. Very disappointed indeed.
Maybe it'd be a bit hard on him to criticise his positioning there. Maybe he should have moved forward across the penalty area to take up a more central position and therefore given him more chance with the angle.
Perhaps, Gary, it's come so quickly across at him that he... But having said that, it looks as if he's been able to see it from some distance out. It's just a matter of getting on top of it and directing it goalwards. And he's missed the target completely, which is unforgivable.
Maybe a chance here for the Congo. Sunu. Been a good first half for Ghana. They were forced into a couple of changes before the start of the game, with 2 players suspended for this quarter-final. Arma and Ankra both out of their starting lineup, so they had to bring in 2 players on the right-hand side of their team. Oh, deliberate handball there. Now, what's the referee going to do here? He'd be in his right. He'd be in the right to send the player off. And the player escapes with a yellow card. I think it was Abora. Manso, in fact, it was. Central defender.
It'd be a wee bit harsh to send them off at this stage, Gary. I suppose you're probably right. Probably right. It's a deliberate handball, and the chances are, if it had to, it would have gone through. So you're right. Perhaps I'll rephrase that by saying I never for 1 minute thought the referee was going to send him off. Okay? Alright. How about that for getting me out of trouble?
Well, meanwhile, the half-time whistle has gone. The only goal of the game coming after 28 minutes. Scored by Yeboah for Ghana. Sumu has had a chance to equalise with a header right at the death of the first half. But Ghana in front. And at half-time, they lead by a 1-0. We'll be back with a half-time break in a moment. The African Nations Cup quarter-final, the last quarter-final to be played in the competition. Up for grabs, placed in the semis. The winners of this competition play Nigeria. This another look at the only goal of the match so far, scored after 28 minutes. Some quite outstanding individual play by Neil Lamptey, helping the ball into the path for Tony Yeboah to strike it and give Ghana a 1-0 advantage. Sitting alongside me is Wycombe Wanderers manager Martin O'Neill. Martin, your thoughts on the first half?
I felt that Ghana had done enough to get their noses in front. I thought Congo were a wee bit unlucky early on. They had a couple of scrimmages that perhaps they could have got something from. Thought they lost their way then after Ghana had scored. Ghana are a very accomplished team, Gary, and they're good players. And as Kenny Dalglish once said to me, when good players get their noses in front, then they're very, very hard to peg back. I think you made the point that that they may decide this half just to sit back, take things a little bit easy, on the understanding that eventually, if they're really, really pushed to, they can get themselves another goal with the ability that they have up front and their forward players. I think for Congo's part, that they have really got to get themselves back into the game. In this sense, I thought the last 5 minutes just before half-time, when perhaps they could have scored, great ball across the penalty box, and Sumu's missed a very, very good chance. That apart, I think that they have got to decide now that we have to take the game to Ghana. We've got to put them under the same type of pressure as we did do in the first game, and hope that maybe the breaks come their way, because if they sit back, then they've got no chance. I think the difficulty with that, if I can continue the point, is that if they continue to play one man up front, that's fine defensively. All the midfielders drop back and concede ground, and there's no problem with that. It's just getting enough of them to go and support eventually. And I think that with Nagapi fighting a lone battle up there, he has got to get a wee bit more support, whether it comes from the flanks, whether it comes from a couple of players joining him. But when he's in the penalty box, he's got to see a few more green shirts.
Of course, Ghana might take the view that it's a very physical competition, and therefore they probably won't want to get involved in any unseemly tackling in the second half, and therefore might just be saving themselves for that very well-anticipated semi-final with Nigeria. We shall see. So, Ghana to get the second half underway. A goal up in this African Nations Cup quarter-final. Tony Yeboah, the man on target. 45 minutes away from a possible semi-final showdown with Nigeria. Slightly obvious push on Neil Lamptey right at the start of the second half by Pierre Chibota, the man who scored Congo's only goal of the competition so far, that against Algeria. Lamptey almost turned his man there, got away by Chibota towards Nagapi, held back into midfield by Kembo, the substitute. This is the fullback, Natunu. Takes on Ibrahim for speed. Good cross too. Looking for Chibota. Might come down to Nagapi. Away by Lamptey. That was good play by the Congo. Ball comes to naught. And here's Yeboah. Hopelessly overhit towards Abide Pele. And Congo came out fighting at the start of the second period.
Just what we would hope that they would do. That was a good running cross. It's a wee bit, just a little bit too deep for them, and eventually Ghana get it clear. But a good positive start. And that's exactly what they have to do.
A little flick on there by Congo midfield player. Kessa. Chibota can't win it. Yeboah's after it though. A little bit more steel to the Congo midfield in the second half. Good to see that. Might have a little bit more of a contest. At times it was a little bit one-sided in the opening 45 minutes. Ghana had it all their own way. Like the school bullies in a playground. They were pushing Congo around. This is a useful break. Rather disappointing pass in the end from Apoko, who had found himself in a very promising position in the inside right channel. One of the few examples when there weren't that many Ghanaian players inside the Congo box. Apoko had few options. Tennis Ndomba has worn a leg brace in the two previous matches Congo have played in. That's a fearsome shot by Nagapi. Just couldn't keep his shot down. Congo mean business, don't they?
Well, I was just going to say that the commendable part about them is that they're prepared to put men forward this half. Nagapi doesn't look as if it's 30 or 40 yards before he sees another green shirt. They're in close attendance. And I think this is the only way for them to do. They've got to try and break Ghana down. There's no point. 1-0 might sound a very, very good result for them on paper. But what's the point? Go and get beaten 3 or 4-0, but have an attempt to try and get in the semi-finals of the African Cup. Really go for broke. And I feel that if they can survive the next 10 or 15 minutes and the way Ghana are performing, there shouldn't be any real problem doing that. I think they should set themselves up for the last half hour to really, really have a go at this and try and get that goal back. They strange thing about it, while I don't really like the idea, is that one goal might be enough to take them through, because if you get through extra time and into penalties, it's a terrible way to finish any sort of match. But the possibility of you winning a major European, African Cup competition, World Cup competition now without actually winning a game, that might appeal to certain people.
Congo got here without winning a game. Now push has come to shove, and they've got to beat Ghana, and they've got to score.
I was nearly going to say that I don't think for 1 minute that Congo will adopt the tactics that they can't do at the minute that Red Star Belgrade did in the European Cup final last year. But I'm sure it's in the back of their minds that if they can hold Ghana at bay here and get a goal themselves, that extra time and penalties can beckon. And you never know, if you're the underdog, you'll always feel that the further you can take the game, the better chance you have.
Ghanaian football very much on an up at the moment. Ghana FA operate 3 national sides. First choice national team on view here, an under-21 side, which is through to the last 6 of the African hopefuls for the Olympics in Barcelona, and an under-17 side which won the World Championship in Montecatini last summer in Italy. All 3 are enjoying some level of success. Really would be quite a 12 months for Ghanaian football if Ghana were to win the African Nations Cup. Their under-21 side were to win a gold medal at the Barcelona Olympics, with the under-17 side already successful last summer. And after those under-17 World Championships, the FIFA president, Dr. Joe Haviland, said we shall be seeing more football triumphs from Ghana. I'm sure he's right. Here's Congo looking to get back into the game now. Great little chip here. Chibota's got it! Oh, carved out by Ndomba. And Chibota, who scored Congo's only goal in the competition going into this game, is in tears now because it's Congo 1, Ghana 1.
Magnificent, absolutely brilliant. We're really in raptures here. It's a terrific run again. Ndomba's done superbly. Absolutely brilliant ball. He's pulled it back superbly. What can you say? I think I could even have scored that one. It's magnificent, and it really puts the cat amongst the pigeons now. It's terrific. We're back in business.
Great run by Ndomba. And the Ghanaians were stretched. And Chibota really puts a spring in the step now of his team. Well, Chibota's really come on strong in the Congo team. He was only substituted in the first match against the Ivory Coast. He's not only scored the goal which effectively put out the reigning champions Algeria, he's put the Skids under one of the favourites to win the African Nations Cup, Ghana.
Just looking at both goals being scored in the game, and no substitute for someone taking players on. I think Nlamti did it for the Ghana goal, and that's exactly what's happened here. Ndomba's gone straight at them, has got a little bit of pace, just a little bit of expertise, been able to go round the outside of them, clipped over a magnificent ball, absolutely brilliant ball.
Ghana 1, Congo 1. Now, I think there's going to be a throw here to the Congo. It goes the way of Ghana. Congo have it back again.
That might waken Ghana from their slumber, because a slumber they've most definitely been in the second half. They've just strolled around, just having that air of superiority without actually doing very much about it. I think Congo deserved to equalise.
Chibota, ball taken off in there. Cleared by Bafo. quarter-final to have 2 goals in it. All the other matches settled by a single goal. Remember, if we're level after 90 minutes, we're heading towards extra time. If we're level after extra time, we'll go to a penalty shootout to decide who goes through to the semi-final. 11 is Ibrahim. I'm not sure the goalkeeper handled the ball outside his penalty area then. Congo have it though. 9 is Natunu. There was a foul there and a push by Chiboto, who's trying to gain a little bit of an advantage on the right-hand side.
We might get a chance to see the cross, but certainly Samba's come an awfully long way for that one. And it's one of those situations, a bit last night like the Zaire-Nigeria game, where Americani in goal for Zaire. Once he's made up his mind to come, he's got to get it. This time Samba's been able to do very, very well. He's got a hand in the ball. Notice that he was outside the penalty box. Half-chested it well, and it decides to, chest volley out the field.
As Martin was making those comments, substitution for Ghana, their first of the match. Ali Ibrahim, one of their most influential midfield players, another one of those players playing in Bundesliga in Germany, has come off. The Amphi is on for Ghana. There was a foul that time on Munkasa. It's all just gone a little bit sour in the last 5 minutes for Ghana, who went in leading by a goal to nil, but on the other side of the interval, soon seen that lead evaporate into the warm Dakar night. 1-1. Butono. Got away by Manso. Yeboah. Oh, Pele's found half a yard here. Now, can he take on the entire Congo defence? He can. Oh, what a brilliant goal by Pele! The goal of the tournament! And it might be good enough to send Ghana into the semi-finals of the African Nations Cup.
Wakening out of the slumber they've done, this is a magnificent goal, individual goal. It's probably only Pele on the field could have done that. There's nothing happened, a little bit of pace, electric there, a little bit of strength as well, knock the player off. Smashing goal, terrific goal. It's the sort of thing that Ghana have felt all along that they're capable of doing. Why they can sit and stroke it around, Gary, they always know that they've got Pele, they've got Yeboah, they've got Nilamte, capable of unlocking defences just with that little bit of individual magic. That is a magnificent, magnificent goal.
Oh, what heartbreak for Congo. Their dreams have been shattered again within 5 minutes of drawing level with Ghana. Through some quite breathtaking skills by Abide Pele. He turned the Congo defence, only 10 yards inside that Congo half of the field. And from then on in, it was Pele against the rest. Martin, let's have a look at this again.
We've picked him up, he's in full stride here. Looked as if he might have knocked it a little bit too far in front of himself, but no, he's in control. Decides to go outside the defender, smashing goal. And when he's on top, it's a great goal again, because he's had one look up, saw the advancing keeper, took it left foot past him. Terrific goal.
Well, the African Footballer of the Year for 1991 has set this stadium alight.
Congo obviously disappointed that they've only been level for about 5 minutes in the game. Can't be really disappointed by conceding a type of goal like that, but that's sheer individual brilliance. While Ghana have players on the field that are capable of doing this, then they've got a great chance of winning this competition.
Manso entered in this challenge here as landed almost horizontally. Chiboto went up to challenge him for the header.
It's important now for Ghana just to regroup again. We talk about regrouping all the time, but this is important for them now. Next 5 or 6 minutes, whatever they do offensively, defensively, defensively they can concede.
Ghana supporters rally the team with a song borrowed from the country's Hearts of Oak club. And the message from that song is "We never say die." They sing it time and time again. I just wonder whether it just infiltrates into the minds of those Ghanaian footballers. We never say die, we never give up. But even when it was 1-1, within 5 minutes, safe struck back.
C'est pas normal, monsieur l'arbitre. Pas nous derrière en tête. Même pas un carton, monsieur l'arbitre. C'est pas vrai.
Complaining to the referee, Monsieur Labita. Francois Mapele, the man who's angry about that challenge. He's telling the referee in no uncertain terms to get a grip on this game. You can see now why he's unhappy with Monsieur Labitra.
I'm not so sure what he's particularly complaining about. It's a challenge. It's a clumsy challenge. It's definitely a free kick.
Can't see here getting too many Christmas cards from the Congo team. After that rather stern challenge. Just a time to draw breath. It's been a good quarter-final so far, hasn't it?
It's been an excellent match, excellent game. I think, and strangely enough, Gary, I know they're well outsiders here. I just don't feel that Congo have thrown it up yet. I think that they'll still think they're in with a little bit of a chance.
Nsomo, all flicked onto the back post. Really exciting play by Munkasa. Did the intelligent thing, was hoping that one of those big central defenders like Sumu had taken up a back post position. And again, a chance goes begging for Congo.
Yes, an intelligent little ball in, played it in, give it a little bit of air, enough to suggest that if it beats the front man at the edge of the penalty box, that it can cause problems. Unlike Zaire yesterday with corner kicks against Nigeria, they sent every single one of them on the near side out to the edge of the penalty box, out swinging corners instead of the occasional in-swinging one that might cause a problem or two. Here, it's nice to see a couple of ideas there from Congo. They've had a go, could have scored from a free kick in just 5 minutes before half-time, and that was a delightful little ball through his game.
Ghana 2, Congo 1. We've had an hour of the game. Pele. Looking for Yeboah, slightly overheads. Gradually, Pele's influence on this game is growing and growing. He's roamed creatively between the midfield and the attack, and he's caused all sorts of problems for Congo in this match. Just after Ghana's second goal, sniff of an equaliser for Congo. As Munkasa flicked the ball on the near post following that free kick.
I think you're right, Gary. I think after Sumu's challenge on him in the first 5 minutes of the game, I think he's felt that he's got something to prove here. He's been able to come off defenders in the first half very, very well. I like the ability to hold the ball up and put players through this time, and he's shown that he's running onto things. He's just as capable of doing that. He's a top-class player. And I think with top-class players, if they've got any appetite for the game at all, you can't keep them out of the match for a full 90 minutes. Something will happen from these particular players. That's why gifted players are in great demand.
Many people were a little bit disappointed with Ghana's group matches and their performances against Zambia and Egypt, which they both won by 1-0. I think this is the true Ghana that we're seeing.
I think so. I think that we talked about the fact that they can up the pace anytime they feel like it, or you get that impression anyway. Not so sure that when Congo equalised that all was rosy in the Ghana camp, but they've got the players there, and all you need nowadays is if you've got 2 or 3 world-class players, you can actually surround yourself with mediocre footballers to fill in other gaps as long as they're reasonably well organised, and these 2 or 3 world-class players can turn matches for you, and it's usually enough to win. I mean, I'm talking about winning major competitions, not just your normal little competition. We're talking about winning World Cups and things like this. I'm still convinced that Maradona at his best won the World Cup for Argentina on his own.
Well, foul on Apoko gives Ghana this free kick. Abide Pele to take it. Manso and Bafo are up inside the box, looking to get on the end of this kick. The referee is going to show his yellow card again here, this time to the substitutes. Gayamfi hasn't been on the field too long.
Yeah, I think it's. I look at this one here, and it's just a matter of sort of like a block challenge. He's kept his foot in there. I don't really think he meant to come through. He just dangled his foot, and it's one of those that if you block challenge it, it's a very, very nasty injury if you get it. But I think it's all's well in the Congo camp. It's also one of those challenges that if you do get booked and you find yourself maybe on a second booking at some stage, imagine missing the final of the African Nations Cup on a silly thing like that. That would be ridiculous.
Doing well for goals here, you know, Martin. On average, less than 2 goals a game are being scored in this year's African Nations Cup, and no game in this tournament has seen more than 3 goals.
So, are you saying we're privileged?
We're very privileged to have a 2-1 at the moment. Who knows, there could be more goals in this game, because Pele is broken away here. Yeboah making great strides inside the middle. Still isn't cleared yet. May come back to Pele.
I think before we came on air, I think we would have been really surprised if the likes of Yeboah and Pele weren't able to conjure up at least 1 goal for us.
This is Yeboah. Already scored 1, looking to set up another. Neil empty. Teasing cross. Nobody on the back post to convert the chance. But again, Ghana are beginning to find a way through and behind that Congo back 4. That leads one to suggest more goals may come in this match. Present time, Ghana lead Congo 2-1. Ghana in the white. It's been an eventful match. It's Ghana showing the greater composure of the 2 teams.
Congo, just the last 10 minutes are getting a little bit ragged. They're just finding things not going in their direction. They didn't hold on to that equaliser for long enough. They allowed Ghana back into the game. When I say allowed them in with a goal like that, you can't say that was ever allowed. But and they've just lost their way a little bit. It's important for them now regain composure again. You know, I talk about it, but it's widely important for them. They spend the next 6 or 7 minutes chasing the ball. It's exactly what Ghana want. And if Congo don't do something about it, you're right, they could find themselves 3-1 down and well and truly out of the competition. Still, they've got a little bit of a chance yet at 2-1. As Brian Clough said, it only takes a second to score a goal.
Well, they almost scored on a free kick right at the start of the second half, Congo, and they have another free kick here. Tsumu inevitably has made his way forward, taking up a back post position. I'm sure Ghana are aware of that, but there is a Ghanaian player injured here. Looks like the substitute Faye came on for Lamptey against Zambia. The referee is saying that I'm not going to allow the trainer on the field for this. Looked like there was an off-the-ball incident here. So we look at the two players on the edge of the 6-yard box. Looks like some sort of dance going on between them.
Handbags at 10 paces, I believe.
Oh, you said it, Martin.
Yes, I would.
It's all been resolved. Free kick. The Domba, the best of free kicks.
One of their less inventive free kicks.
It's putting it politely, isn't it? And they're unable to keep that ball in play on the near side. The Somi charging forward from the left back position. Well, before today, neither country had scored more than one goal in its two previous games. So Ghana have well and truly broken new ground in the African Nations Cup.
As we look in picture, there's not a Congo. Just going to say it, there wasn't a Congo player in sight. This is where I feel that they must now push up. They're under pressure to get a goal themselves to stay in the tournament, and this is where I think that they can't allow Ghana just to knock it around, take a sting out of the game for the next 2 or 3 minutes, playing around at the back. They've got to force the issue, get a few players forward themselves.
There's Pele, whose quite outstanding goal, just short of the hour mark, separates the two teams, with Ghana 2-1 ahead. Abide Pele again, bundled over this time by Okembo, the Congo substitute. Came on just towards the end of the first half for a Womat. It's a rather tired Abide Pele, who hauls himself to his feet and prepares to take this free kick. Lamptey waiting on the edge of the penalty area. Yeboah just has positioned himself on the 6-yard box. I wonder if Congo are going to move out and try and catch Ghana offside here. This one's knocked in short though. The central defender Mansour said, "I didn't hear you." The whistle. That's why he struck it fiercely at goal. Now he's already been booked, and that's why he was looking rather rueful as the referee was preparing to discipline him. Could have easily been a red card. But the stadium only a quarter full. It really is stretching credulity quite a long way to say he didn't hear the referee's whistle then. It was a tired-looking pass from Pele in the first place, his free kick, and it was certainly a tired-looking shot at goal. It was almost as if he'd just thrown his leg at it in the first place. Lucky to get the rebound. Pele's on his way here though. And that wasn't the most surest of back passes by Muyabi, the captain of Congo. Muyabi again. Congo a goal behind. Prize for the winners, a place in the semi-finals. We already know that Cameroon will be playing the Ivory Coast. Will it be Ghana in the whites or Congo in the green to play Nigeria? It'll be the first of the two semi-finals. You'll see them both here on Screen Sport. Both those semi-finals on Thursday. The first semi-final between Nigeria and either Ghana or Congo kicks off at 4 o'clock English time. The second one between Cameroon and the Ivory Coast kicks off at 7:30. So, corner here to Ghana, who lead by 2-1. 15, Apoko waiting inside the box. Pele is going to leave this one. I suspect another booking here. The referee can find a yellow card. I suspect for time wasting, but I'm not quite sure how much more quickly Ampere could get on with it. It's not a corner, it's going to be a throw.
I think Ampere's been terribly unfortunate, really, because if anyone did need a booking, I think that Pele did. Pele had come out there to take, ostensibly to take the corner kick or throw in. So it turns out it is a throw in. Yes, bit of confusion.
Ampere with the throw. Into Pele. Yeboah climbs with the keeper, who's happy to fist it away. Bafo finding the fullback Apia. Athletic clearance by Apia. And we're 15 minutes from full time. If this match is going to be settled in the 90 minutes, that's the latest score. Ghana in the white, remember. If you just switched on, you've missed a really outstanding goal from Abide Pele, which made the score 2-1 to Ghana. Picked the ball up just inside the Congo half of the field and ran it in, ending with a quite sensational shot.
As a spectacle, the game has just died in the last 10 or 12 minutes. This has much to do with the fact that Ghana seem content in holding on to the lead. We hope this break by Congo might prove differently.
Plenty of Congo men forward here. Moncasa gets it wide. They look for Nagapi. Almost came down to Ndomba, who set up the Congo equaliser. This is Lamptey. Oh, great skill by Lamptey. He's into top gear now. Yeboah's waiting in the middle, and he knows he should have got the pass. Natonu. A little bit wasteful that by Ghana, and that's a good example of the fact that they're not 100% of the time technically adept, because the ball square back across the face of the penalty area would have paid dividends there. The goalkeeper had cut down the angle.
Well done, Carrie, you summed it up admirably there. No point for me making any comment at all. I think there was a thought in the Lamptey's head in the first place that he might decide to take it on, but he's played it across to Yeboah, who's given a tired-looking left foot shot. And I think, in all honesty, Ghana now have decided that they're capable enough of withstanding anything that Congo are going to throw at them, and unless they do something terribly rash, they'll not concede the goal, and perhaps they just have an eye on Thursday's semi-final.
Certainly don't want to pick any more injuries up. Or bookings for that matter. But they have some defending to do yet. Notice now that Abora's playing deeper and deeper inside his own half of the field and has almost moved into a back five. Can't say I blame Ghana. Nasomi. Unfortunate enough to concede the throw.
Important for Congo, Gary, that they don't let the game die. At least have 3 or 4 attacks in the last 10 or 12 minutes. Help put Ghana under some sort of pressure. Don't let them walk out with the ball. Force them to do exactly that, to pump the ball upfield, so that at least they're in contention of charging again at them. But Ghana just content there, knocking it around under no real pressure. This is where I feel that Congo's have got to make a few challenges in the middle of the field.
Well, before the competition began, it was feared Congo would be kicked out of the cup by the robust tactics of the Ivory Coast and Algeria, but they've dished it out themselves, in fairness. They certainly have proved no paperweights at this African Nations Cup. Pele with this free kick. Oh, and a chance on the far post. It came back off the upright. I think it was Yeboah who had half a chance. In fact, it was Yeboah who had the opportunity then. There it is again. That's how close they were to a second goal. It was a Poco popping up on the back post. And we can look again at that chance when it fell to a Poco.
It's excellent play. It's a nice little ball through. Opoku just didn't fancy, he didn't trust his left foot at it, Gary, and he's got the outside of his, he's got a decent connection on the outside of his right foot, but it wasn't enough, and it's come off the bar.
Ndomba's cross.
Can Congo make them pay for that? Which would certainly have been the winning goal.
Well, with 10 minutes left of this game, Ghana still lead by 2-1.
Just a little let off for Congo. Just tired defending. I've noticed that in the last couple of times there, that when they've been asked to do things that they were doing very, very easily in the first half, they've just thrown the occasional tired leg at the ball. And while they're feeling the pace themselves, they've just got to lift it for one more go. Give the last 10 minutes as much as they possibly can.
Yabi currently injured. They're without his services at the heart of the Congo defence. Apia, who's set up that chance a moment ago for a Poku, and he's chasing forward now. A very robust challenge, not exactly appreciated by the Congo players. Abora was the man. Referee telling Nasomi that he's in charge of the game rather than Nasomi. I'd like to think he was dishing out his own sort of retribution. Magapi. They're just getting a little bit ragged now, aren't they, Congo? They're losing their discipline, which was such a feature of their game in the first half.
Number 5, Nasomi's tried to referee the last 3 incidents down there. You're right, but you just feel that Congo, they just haven't enough now. Doesn't seem anything left in the locker for them to pull it round. Just feel that even at worst, if they could get a couple of balls wide, they don't even have to get to the byline, but if they could get wide balls here, throw a few crosses in, just like that.
Goalkeeper did well to get it clear. I'd be tempted, I'd like to hear your thoughts on this, Martin. I'd be tempted to throw Nasumu up into a centre forward position now, their big central defender.
Very much so, Gary. Yes, I think they've got nothing at all to lose.
Ndomba again picks it up under pressure from Lamptey. Lamptey can keep it in play and help it forward to Yeboah here. Apoko waiting in the middle. Yeboah showed far too much of the ball.
It's only my thought on it, but I just felt that in that just before then, they've tried to play 2 or 3 little intricate 1-2s around the edge of the penalty box. They had a chance. The initial chance was wide in the left or wide in the right hand side. Just throw it in. It's important for them to get 1 or 2, just a couple of bodies in the penalty box. I know it's desperation stakes, but it's getting desperate for Congo.
Chibota. Oh, Lamptey's found half a yard here. He sets his sights on goal, steadies himself. Might have it back again here, Lamptey. Pele. eventually Ghana caught offside. I wonder whether Lamptey would have been the best idea for Lamptey would have been to head straight for goal there rather than pulling it back.
I think he should have done. I think he was indecisive in two things. One, he felt he didn't have enough pace up to make the run. This was actually the offside decision itself, but he didn't have enough pace up. He first of all thought about chipping the goalkeeper from the edge of the penalty box. By the time that had come out of his mind, the defender had caught him up, and he's gone for, I suppose, what should have been almost the square ball across the goal. But you're right. The first reaction was that I think he should have gone on.
Time is running out for Congo. They sneaked into the quarter-finals without winning a game. Now they're going to bring on their giant central striker, Amazoud. He's another tall player, you know. Caused untold problems in the match against Algeria. Played just 15 minutes of that game, but he really put himself about. It really is their last desperate card now.
I think your point, Gary, it might not have been lost in the Congo coach. I think he's just go for broke, throw a few bodies in there and hope that they can get one or two crosses in the last few minutes of the game, that something might just fall to them. I just don't believe that any intricate build-up will profit them here at this stage of the game.
In fact, they've pushed both their giants forward now. Sumu is playing up front. I think Amazoud will join him there. 5 minutes left of this African Nations Cup quarter-final. Still 2-1 to Ghana. That semi-final against Nigeria very close now. Sumu, the defender who's joined the attack. Sumu's taken up a position on the penalty spot. Ball won't get anywhere near him though. Manso heads it clear. Pele seems to have injured himself in stretching for that ball. Congo still have it. They pushed forward a long way, did the Congo. That's why Ghana were caught offside.
They took the chance there, Congo, and it paid off. They just held their line and hoped that perhaps somebody would run offside. It's been a shame for Congo, because I just felt that once they had the equaliser, I thought that that would have given them the fresh impetus, the enthusiasm to carry on and really have a go. The fact is that they never really got back into the Ghana penalty box again after that. They allowed Ghana to regain that bit of composure that they had had for a while, and Ghana scored a terrific goal. And the games, you just have felt that the game has died on Congo in the last 20 minutes, and they haven't been able to exert enough pressure, really.
As you saw there, Isaac Asare on for Ghana, one of the young under-17 stars who did so well in Italy last summer. He wears number 20 jersey. Nidis Yeboah. Asare to take the throw. Yeboah again. Nice position to come on when your team are winning by 2-1 and there's only a couple of minutes left, but he's been brought on just to shore up the defence. Perhaps just an insurance policy to make sure Congo don't score. That's what happens in theory anyway. Asare. Pele. Great little turn away from his marker then to find Diamfi, one of the substitutes. Congo win it back, and they've got to get the ball forward quickly now. Isaac Asare. Nilamti. Lost possession though.
He's just miscontrolled it there. It's absolutely vital that he got hold of that ball.
We're inside the final minute of this match. Ghana 2, Congo 1. So close, Ghana are now as Yeboah chases that one upfield. Martin, briefly, have they deserved it if Ghana are going to win this one?
Oh, I think so. I think they've done enough to win. I don't think that they've overextended themselves.
Ooh, a late chance right at the end as that ball was played back across the face of goal. Sadly for Congo, can't make capital of it. Nadumu, just got away.
It's just that my real worry about Congo, Gary, was despite their I suppose their inferior ability, certainly on a man-for-man basis they can't compare to Ghana, but I'm not so sure that they had the total belief that they could win this game, because the referee has just blown it.
It's all over. Ghana are through to the semi-finals where they'll meet Nigeria on Thursday. Yeboah gave them the lead early on. After 28 minutes, in fact, 1-0 at the interval. Then Djibouti with a headed goal just short of the hour mark made it 1-1, and then an outrageous goal by Pele. It proved to be the winning goal of the competition. We started at 12 teams, we're down with 4. Cameroon versus Ivory Coast, Nigeria versus Ghana are the two semi-finals.